Hey everybody, it's Ryguard here again, back with another black and white Pokemon analysis. First off, I'm sorry that I might be sounding sick. I do have quite a stuffy nose right now. But today, we're going to be talking about the Headbutt Bull Pokemon known as Baffuron. So let's get started by taking a look at its typing, abilities, and stats. So first off, Baffuron, as you may have guessed, is a mono-normal type Pokemon, meaning that it's only weak to fighting types and it has immunity to Ghost. As for its abilities, the first one it gets is known as Reckless, which is a pretty cool ability that increases the power of moves that have recoil damage done to you by 20%. So basically, moves like Double Edge or Takedown or things like that apply to Reckless. Also, High Jump Kick does as well, which is pretty cool. But the thing you're probably going to be using with Baffuron is its signature move known as Afro Break, which is essentially just a better version of Double Edge because it deals less recoil to you, and it'll get a Reckless boost, which is great. As for its next ability, it is known as Herbivore, which is a really cool ability that makes you immune to grass-type attacks and moves of any variety, such as Leech Seed as well, and things like that. And instead of taking damage from them, you actually get a +1 physical attack boost every time you're hit by a grass-type move. So that's always a cool thing to do, and can allow this Pokemon to be easily paired with a Pokemon such as Swampert or Quagsire, things like that, that are 4 times weak to grass, because you can predict that attack move and then switch in Baffuron to get the attack boost and then be ready to deal lots of damage. As for its Dreamled ability, it's known as Soundproof, which is a pretty interesting ability that makes you immune to sound-type moves, such as Sing or Grass Whistle or Perish Song and things like that. So it's pretty cool to use, but seeing as the majority of Pokemon won't really benefit from a Soundproof as their ability at least, you're probably going to be either going with Reckless or Herbivore for Baffuron's ability. As for its stats, it has 95 HP, 95 physical defense, and 95 special defense, which gives it some ridiculous defenses and allows this Pokemon to take a lot of hits from either the physical or special side. And that's always a great thing and makes this Pokemon capable of being extremely bulky. As for its attacking stats, it also has an incredible physical attack, which is that of 110, which means it can do loads of damage with physical moves while also being able to take lots of hits from physical or special moves, which is amazing stat spread on this Pokemon. And then for its special attack, it's only 40, so you probably won't be doing a lot of damage with that stat. But this Pokemon does learn some interesting special moves, and it does learn Cheer Up, so you possibly could use special attack if you want to boost it with that move. It's probably not recommended though. And as for its speed, it is only 55, so this Pokemon won't be that fast, but still it'll be able to take hits anyways and deal out a lot of damage in return. So the speed isn't entirely necessary. But there are actually 2 sets in this video of the 3 sets I'm going to show you that figure out, or that pretty much get around the lack of speed this Pokemon has and makes use of its great power. So let's take a look at the first one. So in this first set, it is actually going to use a Choice Scarf, and if you've seen a lot of my previous videos, you know that I kind of try to steer away from choiced sets because of the fact that they're pretty basic and anyone can really make one up because of the fact that you just throw a bunch of attacking moves on it and then give it a Choice Scarf. So I usually try to be a little bit more creative with them, but I wanted to show you just how powerful a Choice Scarf Baffuron can be. So first we're going to give it a Jolly Nature to increase its speed and then also lower its special attack since you're not really going to be needing the special attack. And then we're going to be using the ability Reckless so that we can increase the power of the moves that we're going to be using which have recoil damage done to Baffuron, and there's actually 2 in this set. As for the EVs, 4 are going to go into HP, 252 into physical attack to give you your max physical attack possible with a Jolly Nature, and then 252 into speed to give you max speed, and with a Choice Scarf, you'll be having over 300 speed to make use with, so that's pretty good speed regardless of, or despite the fact that its base speed stat isn't that great. As for the moves though, the first one, as I mentioned before, is his signature move known as Afro Break, which is a 120 power base normal move that also deals recoil. So with the Reckless ability, Afro Break has a power of 144, and plus Stab, it has a power of over 200, meaning that it will be able to do a ton of damage to anything that isn't going to resist it. So that's just one perk of this Pokemon being choiced and having the Reckless ability with max attack, essentially. Up next, we have Wild Bolt, which is a new electric move that this Pokemon can make use of, and it also deals recoil damage to Baffuron, so therefore it will get a boost from Reckless, and it also gives you some pretty interesting type coverage, since normal type Pokemon normally can't make use of a good physical electric move, and Baffuron luckily can get that. As for its next moves, you can either choose between Mega Horn and Stone Edge. Both of them have their uses. I feel like most people would probably go with Stone Edge because it gives you better type coverage, but Mega Horn is good if you want to deal with some annoying dark types or psychic types that you're going to be facing, such as the prominent Sazendora, which is a dark and dragon type. So Mega Horn could be a great way to take care of that easily. Or you could go with Stone Edge, obviously, because of the flying type, because it's good against flying types, even though Wild Bolt is too, but it's also good against a bunch of other things too. So it's really up to you. I'm just kind of talking about it. And then lastly, we're going to be making use of Earthquake, just because Earthquake is an amazing move to put on any Pokemon because of how powerful it is and because of how many types it can hit for either super effective damage or neutral damage. So it's a pretty well-rounded choice set, and with the Jolly Nature and max speed, Baffuron can make great use of it despite the fact that it has not that great of a speed stat. Up next, we have yet another set that tries to remedy its low speed while also making use of its great attacking power. So this time we're going to give Baffuron an Adamant Nature to increase its physical attack but lower its special attack, and then we're going to be using the ability Herbivore this time just to give you that one immunity to grass-type moves and also have the chance to increase your physical attack to be even higher than it is. As for the EVs, again, we're going to be going with the same spread, so 4 for HP, 252 for attack, and 252 for speed. As for the item, this time we're going to be making use of Leftovers, just because it seemed like the best option in this situation. As for the moves, though, because we're not using a Choice Scarf or a plus speed nature, we're actually going to be making use of Scary Face, which is an excellent move to use on Pokemon that don't have high speed but have very high attack power, because what it does is it lowers your opponent's speed stat by 2 stages, which also means that it cuts their speed stat in half. So unless your opponent has a speed stat of over 400, Scary Face will pretty much allow you to attack first on the next turn and then subsequent turns after that. So that's a really cool thing. And with this, we're going to be using Return this time as your main normal stab move, and then Wild Bolt and Earthquake to round it out. So personally, I would go with this set just because you're not locked into one move. However, it does take a turn to set up, but I guess the first one is like immediate speed, so it's really up to you which one you want to make use of. They're both very effective though, and will allow you to do a ton of damage to anything that you come across because of max attack and such. But that's pretty much it for this other alternative to the previous set. As for this last set, it's probably the best of the three in my opinion, because not only does it give you a powerful physical attacker, but it also gives you a very effective wall on either the defensive or special side. I guess not really wall, but you'll be able to take lots of hits from either the physical or special defensive side. So either we're going to go with a Careful or Impish Nature for this one. Careful will increase special defense and lower special attack, whereas Impish increases physical defense and lower special attack. So it's really your preference. And again, we're going to be making use of the ability Herbivore to give us an immunity to grass, as well as give us a chance to get a +1 attack boost. As for the EVs, we're going to put 252 into HP to give you max HP, 128 into physical defense, and 128 into special defense to give you, I guess, your best mixed bulkiness. You'll be able to take hits from either the defensive or special side equally well, essentially. And then again, we're going to be making use of the item Leftovers so that we can recover a little bit of HP at the end of every turn. And since we are going to be very defensive, that HP will actually come in handy a lot because of the fact that your opponents hopefully won't be doing a ton of damage to you, and you can easily just recover it up with leftovers, ideally, at least. As for the moves, the first one we're going to make use of is Swords Dance, which we're going to be using mainly for the reason that we aren't using a plus attack nature or any physical attack EVs. So Swords Dance is a great alternative to that because you're giving you +2 in your physical attack, meaning that you're doubling your physical attack, and thus you're allowing Baffuron to be an incredibly powerful attacker while also making it really bulky because of the EV spread and nature. With that though, we're going to be using Return as your main stab move again, and then Payback and Revenge as two other moves to use with the set, because they're both moves that increase in power when your opponent goes first, or in the case of Revenge, when you're attacked first. So Payback has normally 50 base power, but when you go second, it gives you 100 base power, and then Revenge normally has 60 base power, but when you're attacked, it has 120 base power. So that's really cool, and after a Swords Dance, you'll be able to do a ton of damage to anything with both Paybacks and Revenges and Returns, while also, obviously, as I said before, being very defensive because of your spread of EVs. So this pretty much makes use of Baffuron's amazing base stats, or at least the way they spread them out, and allows it to do multiple things in battle. But that's about it for this Pokemon. It's completely awesome, and you guys should definitely use it. But that's it. So take care and goodbye.